Hey everyone, it's Debbie with the Fancy Stamper. How are you guys doing? I'm doing good. I was having a little technical difficulty with my camera, which is actually my cell phone. Because I'm fancy like that. I got a cell phone. And what I wanted to show you guys today is I had another video that showed you how to make this book box before. It's just a little storage box, really easy to make. And this is it using some of the new paper we have. This is the Animal Expedition paper. And there's a stamp sentiment and a little image from the same stamp set. So I'm gonna show you a little bit different one for this demo, and then it ties with a little bit of ribbon. The really great thing about this is that you can do a lot with these for gifts. Like for me, I put my little sticker in here that shows my name, my website, and all that stuff. And I also usually fill these with cards. They hold 6 cards. Those are A2 size cards. They're 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and 6 of their envelopes. So it's a really handy gift to give, especially end of the year for teachers. I mean, really, this is good for any time. You just kind of customize it to whoever you're going to be giving, and it's a really nice gift. It works out well. So we just did a class on this, and it was an in-person class. And when I have in-person classes, I give out instructions. Even though I'm demoing it right there, I do give out these instructions. And you know, it gives general dimensions, which I'll list here in the video. But it also kind of gives you some schematics, and then I pass around some templates so people can kind of get a feel for it at the same time. Because some of the things that require cutting and scoring and folding and, you know, notching a tab or whatever, people have a hard time with it sometimes. So that's why I do all those things. Sometimes makes it easier just to see it visually as well as feeling it or whatever. Started, and for this project you're gonna need some cardstock. I picked Pear Pizzazz, and you're gonna need some designer series paper. Now what I did was, I am in the mode right now of using up a lot of my retired designer paper. So I have this is from our cake soiree set that is no longer available. It's been retired now as of June 1st. And so I went ahead and cut a couple of these. I'll put all the dimensions down below. But these two is for the front and back cover. It's 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. You need 2 of them. And the only thing I want to tell you about patterned paper is if it's a flower, make sure you're cutting it so that whichever way you want it to go, it'll go that way. So you just want to pay attention to that. And again, what I do is I just kind of try to make it be coordinating with the cardstock that you used, which this does. And then I also have some ribbon. I have 24 inches of ribbon. This is the ribbon that, I don't believe we have this anymore. It's the, oh, maybe we do. It's a Pear Pizzazz Shimmer. We might have this one. So I will check and let you know by the end of the video. And then we're also going to be using some of the retired Myths and Magic glimmer paper. And this is just from our Lots of Labels. I cut 2 pieces so that I could layer it and have something on the front. And that's basically all you need. So let's get started. I'm going to tell you the dimensions that you're going to need for the cardstock. You're going to make a base, and then you're going to make the cover. The cover piece is going to be 11 inches by 7 inches. We're going to do a little scoring. And then the other piece that's going to be your box, or the piece that all the cards will rest in, is 10 1/2 by 8 5/8. So it's 10 1/2 this way, and 8 5/8 this way. So those are your dimensions, and we're gonna start with a little bit of scoring. So let me get out my paper, my Stampin' trimmer, because we have a scoring blade on here. And the only thing that I can say is when I had the class, I wasn't demoing this one, I was demoing a different 3D kind of a thing. We were doing gift bags. And I do know that when you have this, you have to just remind people that the light gray is the scoring tool and the dark gray is the cutting blade. And most people know that because they have this, but you know what, when you're busy and you're not paying attention, sometimes it's easy to mix them up. So just be mindful of it and try to get this one out of the way, and then just use the the gray one. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on my glasses. So what we're gonna do with this piece, this is the 10.5 by 8 5/8. We are gonna score it on all 4 sides at 1 inch and 2 inches. So let's see, you know what, I'm gonna do it this way, it makes it easier. So you're gonna do it at 1 inch and 2 inches on all 4 sides. So there's my 2, and here's 1. And just turn it and do it again. This is the 11 inch by 7 inch piece. This is for the cover, and we're gonna score this at 5 inches and 6 inches. Okay, just 2 score lines. 5 inches and 6 inches. All right, then we're not gonna need the trimmer anymore for this project. Just gonna put it to the side, and we're gonna start cutting and scoring. We're gonna start folding. There are some other pieces that you'll need, and I'm gonna show these to you because I went ahead and glued them already just to make things move a little quicker. But you're gonna use your cardstock and cut that at 7/8 of an inch wide. And I just cut 2 strips. They're 12 inches each. And then the card, the designer paper, I did the same thing, only I did it at 3/4 of an inch. So I just glued it and I layered it. And for this project, I am using our liquid Tombow. It's multi-purpose glue. It's really nice. It kind of tacks up right away, so you're able to use it. As long as you're careful, you won't get glue all over the place. I know some of my classmates had a little trouble with that, but honestly, once you're used to using it, it won't happen. So I went ahead and glued these. I'm putting them to the side. We're gonna use those for borders. But in the meantime, so we're gonna go ahead and fold and burnish these 2 score lines right here. Fold and burnish, fold and burnish. And then we are gonna be rounding the corners on this too, so we're just using, you can use any kind of corner rounder that you might have. But I'm using this one that I had in my stuff. So just rounding all 4 corners of my cover. Okay, so here's the ones I'm gonna show you that we're gonna cut. So when you hold it long ways like this, you're gonna cut this square out completely on all 4 sides. So this little end piece that goes to the first line, it's 2 little squares, you're gonna cut this out completely. Then we're gonna cut this line on all 4 pieces. Then on the notch, the little tab that's left, we're gonna notch it. So I'll show you how that works. So first we'll cut this out. If you guys can see that well enough. It's hard to see the lines sometimes on the videos, I noticed. Okay, so that's gonna come out completely, and it's easier to cut before you start folding. So that's why I'm doing it now. And then this is gonna get cut up to this first line, okay? And then when I say to notch it, I'm just talking about taking off a little of the edges. You do it at a diagonal, and it helps when you're putting it together later, that little box. Kind of helps and makes it a little bit easier to fold. So we're gonna do that on all 4 corners, and we'll be right back. Okay, so this is what you have left, and then because it's already cut and we don't have to worry now, we're gonna go ahead and fold and burnish all these lines. And you wanna get a fairly good crease, because remember, these are gonna be the sides of your box. So it's helpful to make them fold pretty well, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and do that on all 4 sides. All right, now you can kind of see how this is gonna be. We're gonna fold these down and glue them so that they're more stable. And then we're gonna get ready to glue these pieces, and this piece will be glued like this. It'll go inside, and then this will fold over the top, okay? But all that will have glue on it. You don't wanna use tape. If you did try to use tape, you would wanna try the tear-in tape that we have currently available. Some people still have some of the fast fuse that might work, but I would rather use glue because it's a little bit more stable and you can make sure that you get it in the spot that you need it to be in. It's a little easier to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue all those areas down, and I'm gonna let you guys watch. I may fast forward this just a little bit, okay? So now we have the bottom piece that looks fairly good, okay? I think that looks just fine. And now we have this piece. So this is gonna be the cover. Now what we wanna do is we wanna adhere this right here like this. So I like to put the glue on the actual box because that's what's gonna be glued. I've tried putting it on here before. I don't have the best results. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it on here. And so I'm gonna put it on the bottom and then this side right here so you can see. Okay, so that's what I usually do. And then I give it a few minutes to set up, so it will take a few minutes. I'm gonna set that there. And now we're gonna go ahead and prepare the front and back cover to go on. 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, okay? So one side is gonna go on this back half and one side is gonna go on the front. So that means that you want to go ahead and round 2 of the corners. This one and this one on the front, and on the back it's gonna be this one and this one. So just pay attention to which ones they are when you're doing it at home and you won't have a problem. If you wanted one of the covers to be for the front, you know, make sure you do it accordingly. So you just pay attention to all that. This is the part where we're going to adhere the ribbon because we don't want the ribbon to be seen, okay? So what I usually do is I make sure this is getting nice and glued on there, okay? And then this 24-inch piece of ribbon, what I do is I roughly fold it in half so that I have about half like this, and then I just bring it over here so that I can sort of see where I should be placing it. And then I open it up. And what works for me is just using a piece of snail or something to keep the ribbon in place while I'm adhering everything else onto it. So I will go ahead and just put a piece of, matter of fact, I'm gonna open it. So I put just a piece of snail here, piece of snail there. And then I just kind of tack it down so that it's being held in place. Works a lot easier for me. And I do the same on the back. Again, just so it stays there for now. It doesn't have to stay there forever. It's not permanent. It's just temporary till I get everything in place, okay? All right, so I'm gonna start with the front. This is my front piece, and I'm gonna go ahead and apply the glue to the piece itself and get that adhered. Remember, you are going to have a little border going around the edge. It's not going to be right up against it, okay? Just so you know, you don't worry if you see some green. You do want that. You want to see that. It's really pretty. See how pretty that looks? Okay, now I'm going to flip it over and do the other one. Oh, that looks really pretty. I love this color combination. It's so nice. It's really pretty. Okay, now you see all the edges? That's what these pieces are for. And what I usually do is I just trim to fit, and you're gonna put them on all four sides, the back binding, the bottom, the top, and the sides here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so look at how we have this done. This is looking really good, and it didn't take very long, did it? It's really pretty quick. So what I do at this point is I just tie this shut, and I just tie a simple bow so it will stay shut for a while. And once it's fully dried, it's still just a little tacky in there as far as the glue goes. But as soon as it dries fully, it'll stay closed a lot easier when you untie it. So what I'm gonna do is I decided to use this for my sentiment, Statement of My Heart. This is a little, just a one stamp set that has a really nice saying on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this for our sentiment. And we have a new ink now. Well, it's not new, it's been around, but we are now using Stays On. And that way, if you wanna color with our regular Stampin' Write markers, this is the one to use. If you have the Stampin' Blends, you're still gonna use our Memento Tuxedo Black, because this is the one to use with the alcohol-based, but we're not doing that. We're gonna go ahead and use this one. So I am going to grab this. I decided to use the mini labels, or is it mini labels? Layered labels? I forgot what it's called. But we're just gonna ink this up. And I always give it a test, make sure it's stamping. Oh, that looks really pretty. So I'll just get a little more ink. Now, some people ink it like this. When they have a bigger one like that, they just turn it upside down and use the ink this way. Either way, it's fine, whatever you're comfortable with. So I'm gonna put that right here in about the middle. Okay, looks really pretty. And I will put this back on. And for this, because it is the glimmer paper, it doesn't adhere well unless you use glue dots. So I'm gonna go ahead and use glue dots to adhere this. Otherwise it'll come apart, and we don't want that to happen, do we? So let me grab my glue dots. And once you get it on here, you can use, on the back of the glimmer, you can go ahead and use dimensionals. You don't have to worry once this is on, okay? The glue dots are just to get it to stick to the glimmer, because it has so much trouble with that. So we are gonna pop this up a little bit. So I will get some of our dimensionals. Don't be shy, make sure you use enough, because you don't want it to sag anywhere. If you give this away, it's gonna be like a keepsake for somebody, and you probably will put cards in it, so you're gonna want it to look nice, stay looking nice too. So dimensionals are pretty economical, so you can definitely do that. I just take off all the backings. And we are almost done. I'm gonna put this about right here. Right in the middle? Yeah, put it right about here. And I'm gonna use our Berry Burst to color in that heart. And we're all set. I think we could put a little bling on the edges here. Maybe maybe we could use our little rhinestones, the clear rhinestones, that would look good. One there and one here. I don't think you can have too much bling, can you? But that's it. So this is our project that we did. It's really simple, and it's a way to use up your leftover retired designer paper. It's a good way to use your new paper because on this one, this is the Share What You Love paper. You can do all sorts of things. I have another one I made using our Broadway bound paper, so that's this paper right here. This is super sweet. It's really cute, nice and bright. Some of our ribbon is here. So tell me what you think. And like I said, I'll have all the dimensions below, and I really hope you enjoyed this. This is a really fun project. All right, thank you.